The young and the restless spoilers shock the monster within, a tale of betrayal, vengeance, and the unraveling of family ties in the turbulent maze of tangled relationships and long-buried secrets. One truth has emerged that threatens to shatter the fragile balance of a once peaceful life. Claire, a woman with a past as dark as it is complex, has finally uncovered the root cause of Kyle's recent coldness and his increasing closeness to Summer. The revelation is as brutal as it is heartbreaking. It is Harrison who stands in the center of this emotional storm. Harrison, a young boy whose innocent face belies the storm of emotions he has unwittingly ignited, has become an unlikely pawn in a dangerous game of allegiance and rejection. Every word he utters, every gesture he makes in support of Summer as his rightful mother, cuts deeply into Claire's soul. His public declarations, which seem harmless to onlookers, are in fact a clear renunciation of Claire, a rejection so profound that it has unleashed something monstrous within her. For most people, the very idea of causing harm to a child is unimaginable. Yet for Claire, a spark has been lit in the dark recesses of her being, a part of herself that she had long hoped would remain dormant. It is a side of her that once emerged during her turbulent days with Jordan, a period when her inner demons were unrestrained and her actions were guided by a relentless desire for control and vengeance. When life is calm and predictable, this monstrous persona is kept at bay. However, in times of distress and personal turmoil, it resurfaces with a vengeance, clawing its way back into the forefront of her identity. The knowledge of Harrison's unwavering support for Summer, and his consequent dismissal of her, has driven Claire to the brink of fury. In her eyes, Harrison is no longer a harmless child but a living embodiment of betrayal, a constant reminder of the love she once had and the respect she lost. This realization has set her on a perilous course. Claire now sees no other option but to eliminate the source of her pain. She has resolved, in a chilling moment of clarity, to kill Harrison. At that point, all semblance of Kyle's decisions, or any form of parental compromise, is cast aside in the wake of her overwhelming need for retribution. Kyle, caught in the crossfire of this internal family war, finds himself at a dangerous crossroads. His once unwavering trust in Claire is now clouded by an awareness of the dark, unpredictable force that lurks within her. As he watches the events unfold, he is forced to confront a harsh reality. The very person he once admired and loved is now capable of unspeakable actions. Kyle's intuition tells him that he must remain vigilant, not only for his sake but, more importantly, for the sake of his son, Harrison. This unfolding drama is not merely about a mother's descent into madness, it is also a stark exploration of how our past can shape our present in the most unpredictable ways. Claire's transformation is a vivid reminder that the human psyche is a fragile construct, one that can fracture and reveal hidden depths of cruelty and desperation when pushed to its limits. In her case, the tranquility of a peaceful life had long kept her darker inclinations at bay, much like a storm held in check by the calm before the tempest. However, as challenges mount and personal grief compounds, that dormant part of her spirit awakens, hungry for the satisfaction of revenge. The parallel between Claire's present and her time with Jordan is both striking and unsettling. Back then, the line between love and hate was blurred, and the monstrous side of her personality was free to dominate without restraint. Now, as she battles feelings of abandonment and jealousy, that same beast emerges with renewed vigor. It is as if the darkness within her is a living entity, a parasitic force that feeds on her emotional pain and grows stronger with every slight, every perceived betrayal. In this state of inner turmoil, Claire's fixation on eliminating Harrison is both a cry for help and a declaration of war. For her, Harrison is not just a child, he is the living symbol of everything that has gone wrong in her life. By targeting him, she believes she can reclaim a sense of control and authority that has been lost to time and circumstance. Yet, in doing so, she risks not only the life of an innocent boy but also the possibility of further fracturing the already tenuous bonds of family loyalty. Harrison, who has unwittingly become the center of this emotional maelstrom, now finds himself in grave danger. His every interaction, every innocent word of support for Summer, is twisted in the eyes of a mother consumed by bitterness and regret. The child's plight is a silent testament to the collateral damage that can occur when personal vendettas override all semblance of maternal instinct. In this dark narrative, he is no longer just a victim of circumstance but a deliberate target of a woman who has lost her way. Meanwhile, Kyle's role becomes ever more critical. His internal struggle is profound, torn between his lingering love for Claire and the stark realization that her inner monster has resurfaced. Kyle must now act as the protector, the voice of reason in a sea of chaos. His cautious approach, a stark contrast to Claire's rash and vengeful impulses, is essential for safeguarding Harrison from the looming threat. Yet, Kyle's journey is fraught with peril. Every decision, every moment of inaction, could tip the scales further into darkness, leaving him to grapple with the horrifying consequences of misplaced trust. As the situation intensifies, one question looms large: what will become of Harrison? The child, caught in the crossfire of adult emotions and unresolved grudges, stands as a fragile beacon of innocence amidst the encroaching shadows of familial discord. His survival now depends on a series of precarious decisions made by those around him, decisions that will determine whether the cycle of vengeance is perpetuated or broken once and for all. This cautionary tale of Claire, Kyle, and Harrison is a stark exploration of the human condition, a narrative that delves into the complexities of love, betrayal, and the destructive potential of unresolved trauma. It is a reminder that beneath the veneer of normalcy, every person harbors hidden depths, some filled with kindness and compassion, and others, darker than the blackest night, driven by a relentless need for retribution. In the end, the story of Claire's inner monster is not just a personal tragedy. It is a universal allegory for the way in which pain and loss can transform even the gentlest souls into harbingers of chaos. For Claire, the re-emergence of that malevolent alter ego is as inevitable as it is destructive, a stark warning that when life becomes too overwhelming, the monsters within us can no longer be contained. As we stand on the precipice of what may come next, one thing is clear: Kyle must remain ever watchful. He cannot afford to trust Claire blindly, for her past has shown that the darkness within her is capable of far-reaching consequences. His duty now is to protect not only his own heart but the fragile, tender spirit of his son, Harrison. In this high-stakes battle between love and hatred, the future hangs in a delicate balance, a balance that will determine whether redemption is possible, or if the cycle of betrayal and retribution will continue unabated. The unfolding drama leaves us with a haunting question: can the monstrous forces that have been unleashed ever be tamed, or will they forever dictate the course of lives intertwined by fate, sorrow, and unyielding passion? Only time will tell if the light of hope can overcome the encroaching darkness, or if the cycle of vengeance will claim yet another victim in its relentless pursuit. The vanishing of Harrison, shadows of betrayal, and the cost of silence in the midst of an ordinary day turned extraordinary by tragedy. Harrison has vanished without a trace, a development that sends shockwaves of horror and disbelief through his family and the entire community. For Kyle and Summer, the disappearance of their beloved child is a nightmare realized, a dark cloud looming over what was once a semblance of normalcy. As the family reels from the devastating news, every heart in the household beats with a mixture of fear, grief, and desperate hope that Harrison will be found unharmed. At first glance, no one would suspect Claire. With her composed exterior and the reputation of being the stabilizing force in the family, she is the last person anyone would imagine capable of such an act. In the eyes of many, Claire has always been seen as the epitome of calm and rationality, a stark contrast to the chaos that now threatens to unravel their lives. Yet, as the details slowly emerge, the situation becomes increasingly murky, challenging even the most steadfast beliefs about who can be trusted. Amid the swirl of confusion and sorrow, Summer's grief transforms into a fierce and vocal accusation. With tears streaming down her face and a voice trembling with a potent mix of anguish and anger, Summer shouts that it is Claire who kidnapped Harrison. "Let him go," she cries out, her words ringing through the tense silence. "Don't even think about harming a child." In her heart, Summer believes that by taking drastic measures to remove the one she sees as a threat, she can somehow salvage what remains of her shattered world. Her cry is not just one of protest, it is an anguished demand for the restoration of innocence and safety for her son. As the situation escalates, Summer, overcome by a surge of protective fury, lunges at Claire. The confrontation threatens to spiral into violence, with Summer's desperation almost consuming all reason. Yet, just as the moment teeters on the brink of chaos, Victoria steps in. With a calm authority born of years of experience in mediating family crises, Victoria restrains Summer, insisting that no one should act on raw emotion alone. "We need evidence," Victoria declares firmly, "only then can we determine what truly happened." Her intervention, though it momentarily calms the immediate tension, does little to quell the storm of suspicions that has been set in motion. Unbeknownst to most, there is one person who holds a dark and dangerous secret to Cole. Long privy to the hidden truths of this family, Cole is painfully aware of the reality that few dare to acknowledge. He knows that Claire is indeed responsible for Harrison's disappearance. This revelation is not born out of malice or petty revenge, rather, it is the inevitable result of years of witnessing the emergence of a monstrous alter ego within Claire, a side of her that had once surfaced during her tumultuous past with Jordan. In moments of inner turmoil and overwhelming pressure, the dormant darkness within her awakens, driving her to actions that defy logic and compassion. For Cole, the knowledge of Claire's guilt is a heavy burden, a secret that gnaws at his conscience day after day. He is tormented by a relentless inner battle. Should he step forward and expose the truth, risking the destruction of the fragile bonds that still hold the family together, or should he remain silent, protecting the status quo even as it leads to further peril for Harrison? His internal conflict is a poignant reminder of the cost of keeping dark secrets hidden, and every passing moment only deepens the moral chasm within him. Meanwhile, Kyle finds himself caught in a maelstrom of conflicting emotions. His love for Claire, built over years of shared memories and tender moments, is now at odds with his desperate need to protect his child. Every instinct tells him that something is horribly amiss, yet his heart hesitates to accept the possibility that the person he once trusted implicitly could harbor such a dangerous secret. Kyle's inner world is a battleground of hope and doubt, a struggle to reconcile the caring partner he knows with the sinister figure that Cole's knowledge suggests she has become. The weight of responsibility crushes him as he contemplates the possibility that his family's future may be doomed by the very person he believed would always be their protector. In the midst of this internal and external turmoil, the family, and indeed the community, must confront the painful reality that Harrison's disappearance is not an isolated incident. It is a symptom of deeper, more insidious issues festering beneath the surface, secrets that have long been buried, resentments that have never fully healed, and the dangerous allure of retribution when one is pushed to the edge. Harrison, an innocent caught in the crossfire of these dark currents, has become the unintended casualty of a family's inability to confront its own inner demons. The intense emotions that swirl around the case have polarized opinions among those closest to the family. While most see Claire as an unlikely suspect due to her steady demeanor, Summer's vehement accusations force everyone to reconsider their assumptions. Her voice, raw with the pain of loss and the fierce determination to see her son returned safely, challenges the narrative that has been carefully constructed around Claire's character. "He is our child," Summer insists repeatedly, her tone rising with every plea. "He must be brought back, unharmed. Do not let any notion of eliminating a child even cross your mind." Her impassioned words are a call to protect the most vulnerable, a demand for justice that resonates even as it stokes the flames of distrust. In sharp contrast stands Victoria, whose measured insistence on gathering concrete evidence before drawing any conclusions serves as a beacon of rationality amid the emotional chaos. With a deep understanding of human frailty and the dangers of rash judgment, Victoria warns that in times of crisis, the thirst for immediate retribution can cloud even the clearest judgment. "Let us not forget," she cautions, "that we must seek the truth with clear minds and steady hearts." Her words, though meant to diffuse the rising tension, underscore the difficulty of navigating a situation where every emotion runs high and every decision carries the weight of irreversible consequences. As the investigation into Harrison's disappearance gathers momentum, every detail becomes critical. The search for evidence is not just a quest to locate a missing child, it is an attempt to piece together a narrative that has been obscured by pain, betrayal, and hidden truths. In every whispered conversation, every hurried step taken in the dead of night, lies the potential for uncovering the full extent of Claire's actions. The community, once united by a shared hope for Harrison's safe return, now finds itself divided by suspicion and fear. Friends and family alike wonder if the dark secrets of the past have finally re-emerged to claim their toll. At the center of this maelstrom is Cole, a man whose silence has long been both a refuge and a prison. His knowledge of Claire's involvement in the kidnapping is a truth he has carried for far too long, a truth that threatens to destroy the very foundations of the family he once believed in. Each day, as the stakes rise and the evidence begins to mount, Cole is forced to ask himself, can the darkness that has long been kept hidden ever truly be contained? And, more painfully, is it his duty to expose that darkness, even if it means shattering the lives of those he holds dear? As the days drag on and the search for Harrison intensifies, the once familiar faces of the family are now etched with lines of worry and distrust. Kyle's once unshakable trust in Claire is eroded by the relentless pressure of unanswered questions and the haunting possibility that his worst fears might be coming true. Summer, whose fierce maternal instinct had always been her guiding light, now battles against the rising tide of grief and fury, determined to hold those responsible accountable, no matter the cost. And amidst it all, Claire stands as an enigma, her true self hidden behind a mask of calm that belies the monstrous potential within.